Hi there, this is Solitary Ronin Films, and welcome to another random review. Have you ever wanted to see a film in which a megalomaniac piano teacher wants to ban all other instruments and have 500 little boys playing on a massive piano? Well, if you have, welcome to the 5,000 Fingers of Dr. T. This is the only film that Dr. Seuss wrote the script for. And it was such a box office disaster that he never wrote a script for a film again. This is a live action film, unlike all the other Dr. Seuss adaptations. This is the Indicator release, which, because it's Indicator number 15, it's fantastic. It's Wonderama. It's filmed in Technicolor. This was made in 1953. It obviously has a debt to The Wizard of Oz. It's a musical, and it tells the story of a little boy who doesn't really like his piano teacher, and it's essentially about trying to get a new father because his father has left. We don't really find out whether he's dead or whether he's left his mum. So as he falls asleep, he's transported into this world of Dr. T, who wants 500 little boys to play on this huge piano and to ban all other instruments. It is as barking as it sounds. It's shot in wonderful Technicolor. There's 9 songs in the film. There was supposed to be 18, but they were cut. Some of them were too dark. There's one that the boy's mother sings to him about all the questions that can't actually be answered in life, because life's sometimes quite horrible. So strangely enough, that got cut. There's other scenes where songs are shortened because again they're just too dark. Because the problem was, when the film came out, it scared children, and there is some wonderful creepy moments. There's fantastic songs, including Dress Me, which is Dr. T before the grand opening of his institute. It's just a fantastic wordplay, obviously by Dr. Seuss. And there's just a fantastic scene because he has all the other musicians and all the other instruments down in his dungeon, and there's a great set piece and a wonderful piece by an orchestra of these made up instruments made out of bone, and yeah, you have to see it to believe it. And then when they go down in the dungeon, there's this really creepy lift operator who just has this black helmet, and just you can see his eyes, and it's really quite creepy. And one of his verses in the song that he sings was cut out for being too dark. So it's really a film for adults, not for kids. But there is a lot of enjoyment to be had. The sets and the production design is really colourful and imaginative, by Dr. Seuss, strangely enough. And surprisingly, the kid in it isn't that annoying, which is surprising for films with kids in them, because sometimes the kids can be really precocious and really quite irritating, but he's not actually that irritating. Him and the help of his plumber, his mum's plumber in real life, and the plumber who's employed by Dr. T to fit sinks in the dream world, or maybe that's the reality world and the other world is a dream world, who knows. There's some really good extras on the Indicator release. There's a great interview with Michael Feinstein, who's a musician and composer, and he was kind of obsessed with this film when he was young in the 70s, and he actually somehow got into the Columbia music archives because he wanted to try and track down as much of the score as he possibly could. And bizarrely, there was a woman whose job in the archive was to get rid of music. So she literally had a book. She had Leonard Maitland's films on TV book, and any film that was under 2.5 stars on the rating, she was throwing out the music for, which is just incredible to think nowadays, but obviously in those days they didn't have digital storage, so they needed room, so she was pretty much just going down all the films that weren't highly rated and just throwing out the film scores for them. So he kind of found scores for the film, unused songs. So there is a 3-disc collection of the music that he kind of helped create. So I might have to actually track that down, because there's some good songs, because that's the thing, you can't be a good musical if you don't have decent songs, and this one has some really good songs. There's also a great scene between the plumber and Dr. T when they're both trying to hypnotise each other, which is just fantastic. It's wonderfully choreographed. The plumber and the boy's mum are actually played by a real life couple who were kind of vaudevillians and theatre people who kind of ended up being in the film, and they were quite disappointed when it bombed. But again, looking at the film now, it's not difficult to see why it did bomb, because it's not really for kids. I mean, scholars have looked at it when at the end, when all the boys come in to sit at the huge piano keyboards, all their toys are taken off them and put into crates. And of course scholars were thinking of Auschwitz and things like that, with the rooms full of hair and glasses. So it's, you have boxes full of catapults and various other toys. So there's lots of kind of subtext, and there's lots of things that adults would pay more attention to than kids. And yeah, it's really enjoyable. Again, it is the kind of cut version. It's like an hour and a half, but there is no longer version, because like I said, originally there was going to be 18 songs in it, and there's only 9. But if you're looking for light musical filler for a Saturday afternoon or a Sunday afternoon, you can't go wrong with a little bit of 5,000 Fingers, because all the boys have the little blue and yellow hats with happy fingers written on them. Because I saw this a long time ago, and seeing it again, it's actually better than I remember it. Dr. T is fantastic. It's so colourful. And again, the scene in the dungeon with the musicians is just fantastic. It's a wonderful set piece. Yeah, so something a little bit different, but well worth checking out. And again, it's on Indicator, so you don't really need an excuse. You know what you're getting with Indicator. So thank you very much for watching this little random review. This is Solitude Ronin saying thank you very much, and goodbye.